with one e4. We have e5, knight comes out to f3, knight to c6, and bishop c4. The Italian is on the board. And Gukesh did beat the Italian with black pieces in the previous round against Wesley. Now playing it with white. Truly, the Italian has become an opening of top players from both colors. Knight to f6, attacking the pawn on e4. And Gukesh thinks for a bit and pushes his pawn to d3. d6 by Caruana. And quickly castled here. Black plays pawn to h6, stopping bishop g5 ideas, which are quite sharp. Rook e1, short castle by Caruana. And now pawn to h3 played, stopping all ideas of knight g4 and bishop g4 in this position. a5, making a luft for the bishop, also preventing the pawn to come to b4. Knight bd2, pawn a4, gaining space on the queen side. And now bishop b5 attacking here, and more importantly the pawn on a4. We have bishop d7. Now you can't take here because of takes, and very strong move knight b4 attacking this pawn. So Gukesh goes knight f1. He doesn't care about this pawn for the time being. And Caruana goes knight e7. Now trading the bishops. Knight takes d7. This is all amazing preparation by Fabi. Look at his time. He's at 26 minutes. Gukesh strikes in the center with d4. Bishop goes back to b6. Knight comes to g3. White's position does look quite nice. And here Fabi is still in his prep. Goes f5. Fantastic move here. And Gukesh now must take on f5. The position is equal. Caruana's prep is great, but he goes queen d3, allowing f4. And now Gukesh is in trouble because this structure that black has is taking away a lot of space from the white pieces. The knight doesn't have good squares. The bishop is a bit blocked here. And you can see Fabi feeling that confidence, getting up from his chair. Also, the tournament is just moving in his favor here. So it's not even that he would feel surprised that he's gotten such a good position out of just the opening in this game. Knight 1 h2, the knight goes to g6. Well, instead of going just with brute force with g5, g4 ideas, Fabi tries to be a little bit more subtle. I believe he wants to trade the knights first, one pair of knights. c5, very interesting move. If you go d5, could very well be that he wants to sacrifice a pawn and activate the bishop. So Gukesh takes on c5. He doesn't push the pawn. This is not particularly a great move. Knight takes c5. Excellent move by Fabi. The queen is attacked. Queen comes back to c2. And now queen c7 played here. For Gukesh, the main problem is the space. He doesn't have much space for his pieces. They are all fighting for the same squares. His bishop doesn't have that much potential. And one move that really could work for him is c4 because it makes space for the bishop on c3 and to go to b4. But then the d4 square gets weakened up. Queen goes to f7, putting pressure on the a2 pawn. And now pawn to c4. He comes back, knight to e7. And we go knight e1. The knight comes to c6. Knight goes back to f3. The other knight now stops here. White would love to get his knight to d3. King h7 played by Caruana. And knight to d3. The thing is, you don't trade here. You go knight e6, fighting for the d4 square. But Fabi goes g5, also a very strong move. Gukesh has to tread carefully here. Knight to b4, he's going to the d5 square. But guys, that's not going to be enough. The knight is well placed, but none of the other pieces are playing. Fabi goes rook g8, fantastic chess. g4 is coming, takes the other rook to g8, attacking g2. Now bishop c3 played. Gukesh trying to play this carefully, but g4 is already a winning advantage for black. It's huge. And he pushes his pawn to g4. The rook can get activated down the g file, edge g4, rook takes g4. And the other rook is coming in to attack g2. Rook takes d6 played. Queen h5 is just very strong, but Fabi chooses rook g8, not the best. Knight d5, now careful, rook takes g2. He's given up the pawn. Gukesh is a big fighter. Rook takes g2, king f1. Now very important to go back, rook g6. And there it's better for black, but bishop d8, trying to control the f6 square, also saving the bishop here. But this is not good because now you can sack here. Rook takes d8. Can Gukesh find it? He has 6 minutes. Fabi has 3 minutes 53 seconds. Suddenly Gukesh's position getting better and you can look at him. He's trying to calculate. I love when Gukesh kind of zones in. He's like a hawk there. He's trying to see his, and he takes it. Rook takes d8 taken. Knight takes, and now bishop to e5. Fantastic chess. Threatening knight f6 check. Fabi brings back his knight, protecting f6, also attacking the bishop on e5. King e1, trying to escape so that if knight e5, there's no rook g1 made, the king can escape to d2. He goes knight e6. And now queen a4. What a move this is, by the way. Knight e5 is the best move, but it's never easy to let the knight come in and attack the queen in this manner. He goes knight to g5. Not a good move here. Knight takes is forced. And look at the time. Both players down to 46 seconds because the position is so complicated. You cannot be playing it super accurately. And by the way, guys, this takes. And you have to remember, if you take here, take instead of this, check king here and queen d7. There's no knight f6 check. The knight is pinned. That's the problem. So Gukesh can't take it here. That's such a tricky move. Bishop d4, knight jumps to e5, and now queen comes back to b3. If you notice, white is an exchange down, but has two extra pawns. Bishop f6 played, attacking the rook. And now rook g6, queen comes to c3, defending the bishop here. And how do we make progress? He goes h5, but that's not a good move. e5 already pushing forward. e5, e6 coming up. He pushes e5 forward. And Fabi in trouble here. He needs to actually start finding a way to get out of this, but it's not possible. Knight f4, 4 king, 2 rooks and the queen. Check, king d2. Somehow the rook escaped. One rook escaped. Now the queen escapes. Knight can go back to d5. And white is completely dominating the position there. But is it easy for Gukesh to find the move knight d5 with just 41 seconds? He goes queen d3. He's offering a trade of queens, which maybe is practically a very good option. Rook g4 played, attacking the knight. On g4, he goes king e4. Wow. What a game this is turning out to be. From clearly lost position, Gukesh has fought back. Reminds us of the Magnus Carlsen game in Norway chess. Gukesh truly one of the best fighters. No matter how much his position is lost, he's always fighting. Amazing move now, f3, because if the rook moves away, h4 pawn is hanging. And so Caruana, with just 20 seconds on the clock, needs to find a way to continue this. But what does he do? Where does he go? Whew, man, this is getting very stressful. Knight d4 is an option. He plays it because if king d4, he wants to take rook takes f4. The best move is rook h2 here, and Gukesh finds it. Rook check, king takes, check, and now king d5. He's winning here. King g6 played. Take here with the bishop would be correct. Yes, he takes that. That's the best move. And now a check. Go to e6. That's the strongest one. But Gukesh goes in the other direction. Not the best because rook d4 attacking the bishop and the c4 pawn. Easy to miss such a move. Caruana thinking here, will he be able to find it? And that would give him some chances back in the game. Although After bishop e7, rook c4, king b6, white is still for choice. No, king f5, he misses it. He doesn't find this move. And for Gukesh, just this entire thing with just 20 seconds on hand is very stressful. Bishop f6, he protects the pawn now. If rook d4, he can even go b3, saving everything. Caruana takes the pawn. Rook takes f3, but you have a bishop and 3 pawns for a rook. That's a lot of material. Rook takes f3. How do we continue here? Gukesh goes rook at 7, attacking the pawn on b7, the best move there. Fabi goes rook a1. It's time to trade. Rook takes b7, takes here, and b4. Look at these 2 pawns. They are monsters. They are worth at least a rook. Rook c2, but Fabi now trying to attack the c pawn. Rook c7 played. Gukesh's only issue is his time. He has only 15 seconds. King b5 played. Now the c4 pawn is protected, but Fabi changes his attention to the b4 pawn. c4, b4, he keeps attacking here. Gukesh goes back with his king. It's easy to botch up such positions. But Gukesh is focused. Fabi knows that he's losing here, but he has to keep fighting. Check on a2, king goes to b5 and comes back. Now kind of forcing Gukesh's hand to defend the pawn and losing the key e5 pawn. Well, in a way, it's okay because the 2 pawns are good enough to win the game. Bishop f8 played by Gukesh. And what you have to notice is Gukesh's body language. He's like, okay, guys, I'm winning here. I need to be careful. Rook d7, cutting the king off. There's no way I can botch this up. And I think it's this killer instinct that Gukesh has which makes him such a fierce competitor. Rook f1, attacking the bishop here. bg7, he's now attacking the rook. Rook comes up to b3. c5 played, pushing the pawn. And if you go now rook to b1, there's a check here and you save this pawn. So some progress here for Gukesh. The pawns are moving. With every step that the pawn takes, it gets intense. Rook d6, because c6, you don't want to be losing both the pawns. Rook bishop versus rook is a theoretical draw. So keep it simple. Don't lose your 2 pawns for 1 rook. c6 played, rook g4, rook g3. He comes back, bishop b2, attacking the bishop. Rook c2 played. And now a very good idea is to go bd4, bishop c5. Yes, rook comes back now. And bishop b6. Gukesh has managed to coordinate his pieces beautifully. Rook b8. Don't go c7 just yet. Rook takes c7. The bishop is pinned. So king a6 played. Check. He comes back, king b5. You know, this couple of moves might seem like Gukesh has not made progress, but then he got 20 seconds there, right? And though that time is super crucial. Rook at 6, Gukesh at 26 seconds, Caruana at 45. King goes to e5. Once again, a little bit tough to make progress here, but rook at 7. Gukesh knows that he needs patience. There's no need to hurry. Rook b7 played. If you take it, there's no way to stop the pawn from queening. So rook c8, bishop c5, now blocking the rook there. Rook a8. And don't rush again. King goes back. So check, pushing the king away. Goes king d5. Maybe another check. Now the king is cut on the d file. And another check. And c7. What a nice move here. Suddenly the black king doesn't have a way to get closer. He goes another check. King here. And what's the plan now? Rook check. Aha. King up. And where are you going next? King b6. Whoa. Everything protects each other. Wow. This is amazing. Rook g8 played. King b7. Step by step. He's coming forward. b5, b6 is next. He goes rook e8. And pushes the pawn. b5. King goes up to e4. b6. And now these 2 pawns are worth at least a queen. Maybe even more. Rook g7, still looking for tricks. If rook d8 takes, the pawn is pinned. But Gukesh comes up, king c6, and it's over. b7 is coming in. The pawns are queening. Domaraju Gukesh has managed to beat Fabiano Caruana. Incredible game. Incredible game. Truly amazing. Caruana's only loss in the rapid section. He still tops it with 14 points. Gukesh scores 10 points and is placed 4th on the standings. With 18 rounds of blitz to go, it'll be a lot of fun. But one thing has to be said, Gukesh is truly one of the biggest fighters